Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this ICF Orange County webinar this morning. My name is Dave Huxtable, and I'm the president of ICF Orange County, and I will be back later on to tell you about some of the other things that we've got coming up, both virtual and face-to-face later in the month in Irvine. But for the moment, I would like to welcome back our ex-board member, Vanya Kuntz, who is bringing us this quarter's episode of what's it called, your series?
TechTalks.
I was going to say Tech Talks, and then I thought that was wrong. There we go. So Tech Talks. Thank you so much for being with us, Vanya. And who do you have for us today?
Oh, I love, this is one of my favorite things of the many things that I do is this webinar. And when I started leading the webinar 2 years ago, actually more than 2 years now, my intention was to get the best leaders on the market that they either found software for coaches or they did research around technology and coaching, and invite them and give opportunity to other people in the industry to learn from them, or to find a solution to a problem that they've been trying to tackle, and maybe join the platform in some way as a coach or as a client. There are different other resources that you can get from the multiple options out there in the market.
Yeah, it's great for coaches just to know what's out there and what opportunities there are.
And today I have Clint Carlson. Clint is the co-founder of Soar and also a chief revenue officer. And he's gonna give us a kind of a brief overview of the platform. He's gonna talk about some new updates and what they're up to. And also we're gonna open for Q&A in the end. And I will ask my favorite questions, which I'm not gonna tell you now what they are. So Clint, introduce yourself, say a few things that you would like to share with our participants, and let's see what you have there for us.
Awesome. Well, this is great. It's such an honor to be invited here today. Thank you, Vanya, and thank you for letting me join all of you in Orange County. I love talking with coaches. Your mission and your impact on the world and on transforming lives is really inspiring and very much needed in today's world. My background, just so that you know me a little bit, I'm a 3 times HR tech company founder. I've started a platform that did P2P social recognition in the workplace. I was also a co-founder of a company called HireView, which was the world's first platform for web-based video job interviews. And now I'm working on Soar.com with my co-founder, Paul Allen. And I spent about 6 years at Gallup as a partner in their enterprise consulting group, working and advising clients like Facebook, Google, Procter & Gamble, Kraft Foods, really large international companies on how to build great work culture, how to develop leaders, and how to invest in their talent. I also spent a little bit of time at Right Management, which some of you may know. I led the business in the Southwestern United States, had P&L accountability for that business. And so have spent plenty of time in the coaching world from different sides. And I'm not a coach myself, but I really love and appreciate you as coaches. So I'm excited to be here. As I think about what we're trying to achieve at Soar, obviously I'll show you some of the technology implications of what our platform's all about. But really what our mission is to create a coaching movement worldwide to help 1 billion people transform their lives. And with that in mind, it's important to understand that you as coaches really are at the center of this mission and this movement, because we believe that for us to reach 1 billion lives, we've got to help tens of thousands of coaches be successful and thrive in your careers and in your own lives. So I thought maybe I'd kick off some content today with a short video that is just a video of my co-founder, Paul Allen, speaking in front of a group of 1,500 coaches. And it'll give you a little sense of what our mission is and what we're seeking to accomplish at Soar. Let me just pull this up.
Four years ago, with our commitment to empower 1 million coaches to help us reach 7 billion people, we began to search the world for the perfect person to lead the strengths movement. We needed somebody with rare intelligence, a gift for technology, and a deep belief in the power of strengths. And we found him. Our final keynote this morning, one of his most famous inventions that many of us are aware of is Ancestry.com. He was the leader of his church congregation for 5 years, and he's arguably the leading living authority on the life and history of Don Clifton. Please welcome Gallup's own global strengths evangelist, Paul Allen.
The energy that you all bring from the 24 countries around the world that you come from is tangible. I actually think the universe is taking notice of what's going on. On June 21st, when Jim Clifton published an article about how 7 billion people need a coach, that very day, Jim Clifton saw lightning strike our building in Washington, D.C. That's a lot of energy coming into this strength movement. But I'm here to tell you there is enough thunder to go around for every one of us, because lightning is striking everywhere you do strengths coaching. 4 years ago, I was looking for kind of an idea that might help fix the world, because I was feeling that the world was getting pretty broken. And I remember having lots of ideas. I kind of do that. My friend Clint Carlos worked here and introduced me to the Gallup organization. And I have never met a more mission-focused, mission-driven company in my life. So at a 30,000-foot view, Gallup's researchers and analysts can analyze the most important problems and issues facing the leaders of the world. And then what Don Clifton gave the world, the gift that he gives to all of us, is a very close-up view of our own self, our neurological pathways, our natural patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving, the thing that we are when we wake up and we can't not be it. The Clifton Strengths instrument with coaching can unlock human potential like nothing I've ever seen. But the magic of strengths is not in technology. The magic of strengths is taking the results of the assessment and providing the feedback, providing the coaching, helping people believe in themselves again. It's taking Michael Daphne in the slums of Costa Rica working with ex-prostitutes who are now building safe havens for former sex trafficking victims, and Mike showing a Surface tablet computer to this 57-year-old woman who'd never seen a computer in her life. And with tears in her eyes, he says, "How does this make you feel?" And she said, "I've never used a computer. I like computers. And this makes me feel more human." Every human being born on this planet deserves a coach like that. Someone who cares, someone who sees the intrinsic value. Don Clifton saw value in every human being. But he not only saw value, but he could describe it. He could give a language to it. We do invite you to join with us in this journey of making the world built on the strengths of each of its inhabitants. Thank you so very much.
That's cool. Very nice video.
So that should give you a little bit of a sneak peek into who we are, what we believe. Paul, Mike, my co-founder, my mentor for many years, my coach in many ways. I'm lucky to be working with him, and so in his absence, I thought I'd share a little message from him and show you the way we feel about coaching. You could obviously tell that in that presentation there was a lean towards strengths. You see strengths mentioned on our website. Soar is not just for strengths coaches. We do have a global partnership with Gallup that enables us to provide the assessment through the platform without ever sending people to Gallup. But it's the first of many assessments like that we will accommodate and make room for on the platform and enable coaches. Today, less than half of our coaches are Gallup certified strengths coaches. Many of them come from all different certification programs and different coaching methodologies. There are coaches in almost 50 countries around the world now on Soar. And so there's room for everyone on Soar. We're just about a year into this business. We launched the platform in July of last year. So I guess we're just past the 1 year mark. So what you're seeing today is just the early stages of where this is heading. But we've begun by creating a home for clients and coaches to connect and build meaningful relationships. So I thought maybe I'd walk you through just kind of a quick tour of some of the things that are available to you as coaches on Soar. When we surveyed coaches as we were getting ready to launch this business, we heard from many of you several themes of what you would need from Soar to help your business and help you thrive. And those things were the ability to connect with clients, the ability to be part of a peer community in a meaningful way, the ability to continue to learn and grow, and the ability to run your business a little bit more smoothly with some back office support and tools. So that's kind of the basis for what we've built so far. There's much more to come. There are new releases in our technology and in the platform happening every week. We have an amazing development team that is located all over the world that's doing continuous shifts in development, so moving very quickly. And so what you'll see is the beginnings of what we hope to be the destination for human development in years to come. So as we jump in here, there's just a couple of things. I mentioned community, mentioned education, so you'll see some of those themes show up. When a client comes to Soar, they can find you as a coach on the platform by searching keywords, locations, different types of coaching. And then they can find a dynamic profile of you on the platform where they can get to know you better, learn about you, read reviews and ratings from past clients, and really explore the early stages of a relationship with you. I'll just drop into one as an example. This is Bob in New Orleans. You can see he's got some blog posts on here. He's got 25 reviews from current and past clients. Really gives future clients a lot of confidence and trust in this social proof that Bob knows what he's doing and he's an effective coach. I've interviewed hundreds of clients who have come to Soar and hired our coaches, and almost every time they say that the thing that matters most to them are the feedback and the reviews from past clients. That's how they gauge credibility. So, they also view it differently than testimonials on a coach's website, because we all know those are curated and you can kind of put whatever you want on there. Not that they're not accurate, but they see these as reviews similar to what they're used to on Amazon, TripAdvisor, and other sites. So it just offers that third-party objective credibility to what you do as coaches. Now, Bob can customize the way that he's available to clients. This is a link to his scheduling tool. They can email him directly here. Anytime someone interacts with him on the platform, our system automatically sends him text message notifications so that he can respond promptly to those requests and stay in touch. Now, there's a couple of other things that coaches can do here. They can share a video introducing themselves, which is a great way to build rapport. And they can share, logos and things of their past clients, share their strengths, write a bio about themselves. And so this is kind of the public-facing view. Now, when clients come to Soar.com through our different marketing efforts and they find you as a coach on your profile, they contact you directly. We don't get in the way of that contact. You keep 100% of the revenue that you earn. And all of this is available for free to coaches to get started and join the community. So really no downside risk. And it's much easier to be seen and be visible on a platform like this than on your own website for the most part. So
I have a question
sure.
Before you move to something else. Do you train the coaches on specific methodology or like on the assessments that clients take or anything like that?
Great question, Vanya. we don't necessarily train coaches on methodologies or assessments. Like, we believe that there are great training organizations out there. There's a lot of ICF certified, training organizations. There's many different certifications out there. And so we're not trying to compete with those. But what we do provide is ongoing education through webinars. We bring in coaches, we bring in subject matter experts to do webinars for coaches to just continue to learn and gain insights. And then we do offer some training, and it's mostly focused on helping coaches grow their business. What we heard, and I've had video calls with over 1,200 coaches in the last year, and what I heard on those calls was that coaches come out of these training programs really inspired, really well equipped to coach, but with almost no training on how to be a business owner and how to market their services and how to grow their business. So just simply in response to that need, we created a couple of services. One's a boot camp. It's a 12-week course for coaches on how to brand and niche and market themselves. We actually go so far as to provide virtual marketing assistance to help coaches build marketing funnels and manage ad campaigns and things like that. So we do some education, Vanya, but we're not trying to teach coaches how to coach. We're trying to teach great coaches how to grow their business. So that's...
And learning how to work with the platform, I assume, is probably videos, and they're already pre-existing materials that you don't need a physical person to train on the platform.
Right. I mean, we do have a full coach member support team that will do onboarding interviews. We'll often capture those in video format and run them through artificial intelligence, so that when we have client needs come through, we can listen back to conversations we had with new coaches when they were being onboarded and discover the right fit for a specific opportunity. And then they can also help coaches get your profile set up, follow best practices on really appealing to what your clients are looking for and those kind of things. But for the most part, it's easy to get started, and a coach can do this at no cost and with very little help or interference on our side. So, so the two other things that we heard. Now, let me just dive in a little bit. So coaches often say, okay, it's great to be on a platform like Soar, love the community aspects, but how do my clients find me? Not just the tens of thousands of clients that are coming to Soar to find a coach, but how do I find coaches who are best fit for me? So in response to that request, we've built a number of tools to help coaches specifically attract their ideal clients. I'm going to take you into the coach dashboard here. This is kind of the back office tool set for coaches. And do we have a question?
Yes, we do. Do the coaches need certification or credentials to join the platform?
So they don't need them to join, but in my experience, they need them to get clients. Clients are pretty astute these days. They ask for those things. We're actually just about to launch credential verification on the platform. So we'll have coaches submit proof of credentials. If they say there's PCC or MCC, they'll be able to show proof that that's the case and differentiate themselves from others. Because probably to your point, Nanor, it's important that clients have access to full transparency and awareness of what coaches bring to the table. So
awesome, thank you.
So this is a dashboard for coaches. Think of this as kind of your back office toolkit. So there's a number of things you'll see in here. If you haven't gone through the different steps to get your profile up and going, you can see I haven't shared an in-depth summary about myself, and I can just follow this button to go do that. But time to time, it'll give me recommendations on what I can do to improve my profile, what I can do to stand out more and to grow my business. So going back to the point around how do I attract my target audience? We've built this campaigns tool into the platform. And what this is a library of advertising campaigns that either happen on LinkedIn, Google, or Facebook. So these are paid ad campaigns that we've tested and run, targeting very specific audiences. Here's one that is targeting executives and VPs on LinkedIn.
Employee engagement.
Yeah, and the focus of the message is employee engagement and lower turnover, right? So I can go learn more about this ad campaign. I can see this will target people who've been in their career 8 to 10 years, looking for a new job. So ready for next promotion. I think that it switched me to the wrong campaign here. This is a new one they've just launched. But when I browse this campaign, I can go in, I can edit the content of the campaign as far as how I'm going to appear as the coach, what the ad content is if I want to change anything. Sorry, it's going a little slow with the video and the screen share.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go back to one of these that I've got set up here. So here's another example. This is a one targeting IT executives on LinkedIn. What we found is that it costs about $55 per lead. I can set my budget. In this case, I've set a budget of $110 per week, which means I'm likely to get two leads per week. I can see that this is targeting IT executives. It runs a LinkedIn ad, and I can preview the landing page. So what will happen is our system will automatically create a landing page. It'll automatically create an ad on LinkedIn. It'll send people to this landing page. And then when they sign up on this landing page, it takes them back and they show up in my coaching dashboard. So if I go from my campaigns to my leads, that lead would show up here. I can see the contact's name, and this is just a test that I put in there. I can email, call, or text message them right from within the app, and then I can keep track of those leads here. So this is a way to make it really easy for coaches to do paid advertising on the most popular ad platforms without having to be advertising experts.
Is that guaranteed that they will find one lead for you that you engage? And
So,
it's only two leads. And the moment that the ad hit the two people that they are quote unquote interested, you get notified and that's it. That's how it works?
It's kind of like that, Vanya. Basically what it is we're looking at real data when we say, for example, this costs about $15 per lead. Mm-hmm. These are just pass-through costs. This money is spent on LinkedIn advertising. And so on average, it'll cost $15 per lead. So if I set a budget of $45, pretty good bet that I'm going to get 3 leads from that, because again, this is real data and it's updated in real time. And I'm in control of that budget. So I can say, I need more leads this week, fewer leads next week. And it might not always be $15 per lead, but it will average out to that pretty consistently. Does that make sense?
Yes, I mean, it does make sense. Totally. Just one thing that I'm not quite 100% sure, and I hope this is interesting to the people on the call today too, is when you set up a lead budget, is right. At the moment that you hit the budget,
right,
are you most likely to getting these potential 2, 1, 2, 3 leads
right.
that you're targeting, or you might not. You're just gonna average your hit your budget and that's it.
Right. So it's possible that you could get 5 or 6 leads for the $45, but it's also possible that you could only get 1, right? So but it will average out over time. And like I said, this data is updated in real time so that coaches can see what these campaigns cost.
And you're targeting specific market and time when the people are most responsive to some kind of prompts and etc.
Right.
This is on the algorithm already.
Yeah, there's probably 20 or more different variables that affect the cost per lead, including targeting. So for example, if I go into this one, which is a free, I think our team is editing these right now because I'm getting some weird links when I go through here. But so this is one for mid-career promotion seekers. This targets career changers on LinkedIn, which is a category you can target on LinkedIn. So if I go in to edit this campaign, what it will do is, and this page is going a little bit slow today with video on. I can select whether I want to target people locally in my community, nationally, around whatever country I'm in, or globally. And so typically, if I say locally, that will increase the cost per lead somewhat, but I'll get more consistent leads. And so it averages that, it evens out over time. Sorry, I think it's just too much bandwidth, screen sharing and video and doing this database query. This one is $35 per lead, but you can customize this quite a bit to the coach. But the reason that this is much easier, it's just like if you go to Google or LinkedIn or Facebook and you fire up an ad campaign, you tell Facebook, Google, or LinkedIn what your daily budget is, and then it will present those ads in front of your audience, and there's no guarantee that people will click on them, right? But we've taken all of that into account, removed the guesswork, and looking at the data are predicting that it will cost $35 per lead based on what the going rate is to advertise to this audience at LinkedIn with this call to action and this banner ad. And so it just takes a lot of the guesswork out of it.
Absolutely, yes. Because in my experience with ads, it's like if you don't have a big budget, you almost never get the lead out of it.
Right.
And a big budget, I mean more than 200 per month or something.
Yeah, definitely. And it's easy. Trust me, I've been doing internet marketing for a long time before there was Google, right, to advertise.
Yeah.
And I can tell you it's easy to spend a lot of money very ineffectively when you're advertising. If you don't know how to target the right audience, if you don't have a great call to action, if you haven't worked out the kinks. So the beautiful thing about these, and you see new campaigns coming into the library every day. These campaigns are proven, there's real data behind them, and our team is doing all of the work and taking out all of the guesswork for coaches. So it just makes it a lot simpler.
Thank you for showing us that.
Absolutely. So some other features in the back office, you can use client billing feature for free. Soar doesn't charge anything aside from the credit card fees. So there's a 2.9% fee for most credit cards. So that's a pass-through cost. But when you bill your clients through the platform, you connect to your bank account, it goes auto deposit into your account. Your clients can pay through credit card or through direct deposit or ACH. So takes away the need to have some of that. We are just days away from launching a full platform calendaring system so that coaches can stop paying for Calendly or other calendar tools. It'll be included in a Soar membership. Same with Zoom. Any coaches who use Zoom a lot will be able to use a Zoom account that Soar provides through the platform. And that will be, the Zoom and the calendaring will be part of a pro membership on Soar, but the bundled savings are exceed what the cost is of the Soar membership. So did you have a question or comment, Vanya?
I had and I forgot.
Okay.
Short memory span.
No problem. So let me take you back to a couple of other resources.
Anybody who has questions, please type it in the chat box or in the Q&A. I would love to keep this conversational and even questions beyond the platform.
Totally. Let me show you two things while we're waiting for some questions. Coaches have consistently said they want a peer group, they want a community to belong to, because it's lonely being a solopreneur, right? For many people, especially the first go around. So there's two communities that we've helped kind of facilitate. And we don't consider ourselves the leaders of these communities. We consider you the leaders of these communities. But one is this online community called The Hub. You can get there from our homepage. You can join The Hub, even if you don't have a profile on Soar. You enter The Hub, you can, it's thinking about it. Of course, when we're live demoing, it's going to give me an error. So if you click here, it'll take you to a social network online. You can follow different subjects. You can join different circles, which are kind of like groups. You can share content, research, ideas, ask questions. It's kind of like a Facebook group on steroids. So it just provides you with a safe, closed environment for coaches to be able to connect and help each other out. The second place that we've tried to help foster community is through live events. So if I take you to our kind of about page, we have had 85 of our coaches raise their hands and say, we want to be community leaders within this global movement. And so they've opened live chapters in their community where they host events. Some of them are for coaches, but most of them are for the clients of coaches. So whoever your target audience is, HR leaders, CEOs, small business owners, nonprofits, and these community leaders organize events in their community that people can, we've got them in as far as Nigeria, Switzerland, Asia, South America, and Australia. And these live events do one thing really powerfully. When we talk about this being a global movement, one of the reasons that coaching needs to become a movement is because almost no one is out there thinking of coaching and really aware of what coaching is unless they're in very small, limited circles. So these events provide an opportunity for hundreds of local leaders to go to an event, hear the stories of impact through coaching in their community, and have that aha moment about what coaching can mean for them and for their organization. So they're really powerful. The coaches who attend these events always walk away with live connections, referrals, and leads for coaching opportunities in their community. And so these live events are really powerful. You can actually go browse live events if you click on this events tab and see them by chapter and by location.
Nora is asking if there is one in Orange County or probably
Yes, we have
Los Angeles.
We have several in the kind of Southern California area. Stephen Thomas here is in Newport Beach. We have Santor Nishisaki in LA.
I saw somebody, a girl, when I was browsing from Los Angeles too.
Yeah, we have 4 or 5 community leaders between LA and San Diego. And so you can come find them here, and you can also join the local chapters by going to this events tab up here. And so during the busy season, there are events happening somewhere around the world every day, multiple events. Sometimes we get to a little bit of a down cycle when people are busy with holidays or seasonal changes and things, but it's really a great community, and it's a way for people to be a part of a tribe and connect with people who they know who are like them and share common mission and common goals.
Yeah, that sounds very powerful.
So 2 other things. One, the last thing I mentioned is you had asked about education, Vanya, and since I said we don't try to teach coaches how to coach, we just try to help them grow a business. The 2 things that really fit that mold, one of them is our boot camp. You can go to soar.com/bootcamp to learn about that. We just started a new cohort last week. It's a 12-week program. Not sure when we're going to do our next one or if we're going to move it to maybe an evergreen on-demand program. But we've put about 60 coaches through this program, and they've had just tremendous results in really refining their brand and their marketing strategy. And part of that is helping coaches define what we call a value ladder, right? Most coaches offer their signature coaching package, which might be a few $1,000s or 10, or a lot more. And then they expect their clients to go from kind of meeting them over coffee to buying this multi-$1,000 package. And when it comes to digital marketing and getting your clients to proceed on their journey, you really need a value ladder that offers incremental steps in the exchange of increasing value so that they become more comfortable with you and more familiar with you. So some of the things we've done to help coaches do this is partner with text message platforms, e-course platforms, asynchronous coaching platforms that we offer our coaches for free or very low cost to kind of have low touch, low cost options for clients to begin their journey and then move to those major purchasing decisions. So
interesting. So I usually always connect technology with efficiency and effectiveness in a way that you can measure. And right. I was wondering, what do you track from a coaching engagement as a platform?
Well, there's what we track today, and then there's what we'll track in the future, right? Today, we track when the engagements happen, how often they happen, and the quality of those engagements through client feedback. But in the future, we will likely offer coaches the ability to use our artificial intelligence analysis platform. So we've been using this internally. Every time I do a video conference with a coach, we record it to the cloud. We run it through artificial intelligence software that picks up keywords and trends and communication patterns and gives me feedback on my interaction. So how many meaningful exchanges are there? How fast am I talking? What keywords am I using? All those things. We're going to make that available to coaches so that they can see how they compare to other coaches in their coaching conversations and also in their initial sales conversations. And then they can analyze and improve their own coaching and selling. So that's kind of the future.
And the people that probably are wondering at the moment about confidentiality, all these platforms that they record potentially your conversations, everything comes anonymously. And you cannot identify who is the person or any specifics about the people that they're on the call, besides keywords and like nonverbal intonation of the voice and other key exchanges that they come in during the conversation.
That's right. Now,
is that correct?
Yeah. So coaches will be in total control over that. Some coaches that I know they record all of their conversations and they send their clients a transcript after, as kind of just a way of keeping memory of what they experience in their coaching. Other coaches, based on subject matter or who the client is, have prefer not to record anything. And the coach is in total control. Obviously, we follow all of the federal laws on recording. Just like this webinar is being recorded, we all see a sign that shows us it's being recorded. So it gives you the ability to know and have full transparency into how it's being used.
And also, do you have assessment integrated in the platform, or this is like a separate partnership or entity that you use, whatever the coach wants to use?
Yeah, so obviously coaches can use anything they want, but in the coming months, you'll see many of the major assessments integrated into the platform, meaning you can send your clients somewhere in the platform, they'll take the assessment, not have to go to the assessment providers, and you'll see their results in your dashboard so that you can coach them directly and even automate some of the communication with them.
Oh, that's fantastic. And there is one more way to track data from
Right.
the assessment.
Right.
Any questions that if people have and want to ask about the platform?
Hi, this is Dave. Something that we haven't covered yet, that is in the blurb about what we're going to talk about today, so I just kind of wanted to move us in that direction, is that part about how the industry of coaching is evolving. So I wonder what insights you have on that, Clint. Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh, I jumped your gun.
Like a last piece of leading to that. But I wanted to see if people have questions about the platform or anything.
Sure.
Because,
I just wanted to kind of zoom out a bit.
Absolutely.
So I won't steal your question, but I kind of felt we went a bit too deeply into like the intricacies of marketing, and you lost me. It's probably more about me than you. So I would encourage other people to ask some questions.
Absolutely,
How it all works.
And my favorite part is always when we get towards the end of our conversations to ask a few questions about how do you see the artificial intelligence and in the partnership with the coaching, and what it does and what can and what could do for the industry as a whole and for coaches?
Yeah, well, artificial intelligence is such a huge major shift in the way that we glean insights and take action, right? So when you think about the role of a coach, it's really helping that individual glean insights into their circumstances and chart a new course of action, right? So one of the things that we envision is the ability to accumulate many millions of data points across different coaching client relationships and see what works for someone based on the results of their assessments, based on their goals, based on their industry. Are there certain books that they read that have greater impact based on what disc profile they have or based on what strengths they have, right? And a coach is great at that human, making that human connection and influencing that change, but lacks the scale to have those kinds of insights, right? And so if we can help surface those types of insights and connect the systems that your clients are using, then it can be really powerful. One way that we've done that already is through our voice computing technology, where we help clients, particularly sales forces, connect their social networks, their calendars, and their customer relationship management, their CRM, to their sales training content and offer the most meaningful content in the context of when it's needed, based on who they're talking to and based on what they're trying to achieve with their goals. So those are tools that can really fuel and empower coaches, I think, to have even better insights than they've ever had and be more impactful. The other thing it affords is the opportunity for coaches through these technologies to have a certain level of stickiness into their client organizations, and to have some recurring revenue as those tools are made available to coaches to sell into their clients. So I think that's something that hasn't been done.
Yeah, a question. Who are the target clients in Soar? Individuals or organizations?
Both. So the retail traffic that you imagine coming to the website is mostly individuals. And so that's how individual, what we call kind of consumers, are using to find coaches. We also have an enterprise sales effort that is going out and bringing in corporations and government entities that need lots of coaching, and then we will subcontract that down to coaches. Our largest client this year has been the U.S. government.
The U.S. government, which district or overall?
The U.S. Department of State has been our largest.
Department of State, okay,
Yeah.
so huge number. So what is the average number of clients that coaches get?
It really varies, Nanor. I hope I'm saying your name right. As you can imagine, There's a lot of different coaches with different specialties who have invested different amounts of time to stand out in their profile. The coaches who haven't put a video up or blogged or gotten reviews from clients are getting basically no clients through the platform because clients see an alternative and they go that direction. The coaches who have a great profile and stand out are getting many clients through the platform. Some are getting hundreds. I talked to a coach recently who told me he, in his first 90 days of being on the platform, had generated $50,000 in new client revenue. So I thought that was pretty significant.
Who defines the price of charge?
So for the retail end users that find you through the platform, you set your own pricing and you keep 100% of that revenue. With clients like the government or large enterprises, if we work out kind of an enterprise deal, then we will set a price for coaching, and we will contact the coaches on the platform who meet the requirements, and coaches can opt in or out of those, but those are at kind of pre-negotiated rates.
Okay. And as David said, I will keep zooming out of the focus of Soar. Even though it was great, I learned a lot, and I'm intrigued. So from your standpoint, what do you think the future of the industry will be? And this is a favorite question we're hearing more and more. And the same story kind of goes on, like right. Lower the price, like the offering is going to grow up and etc. But something different than that. What do you envision?
Well, first of all, coaching, even though it's been around for decades in some circles, it's still very, very new to most most average people. You know, if you were to go stand at your grocery store and poll people on the way in, do they know what coaching is? They would think you're talking about a football coach or a basketball coach. They wouldn't know the kind of coaching that you all do. So I think it's a very young industry. I think it has a lot of room to mature and become well known. And there's some major trends that are lending to that. I read an article a couple of weeks ago that said that just in the US, 75 million jobs are going to be displaced due to automation in the next 10 years. So as I think about what are the catalysts for people to seek coaching, that's one of them, right? People feeling disrupted in their natural kind of stable world, their natural life, their career. They're going to be seeking for help, seeking for guidance, and seeking for transformation. So that's going to create a massive tidal wave of coaching demand that's coming. The other major trend that's happening is organizations are changing the way that they buy services and invest in talent. It used to be top down, right? All of the software they bought started in procurement and it went through this centralized process. But look at the way Slack has taken off and other enterprise tools, right? One user adopts it, they have a good experience, 10 users adopt it, 100, all of a sudden the company has to buy that service. And so there's a lot more power at the end user level and the employee level in organizations. And that's causing a greater demand for individualized learning and development in the enterprise. So companies who have spent millions of dollars building live interruption-based learning, where they take people out of their job, they put them in a classroom, and they sit you through a bunch of content for 2 or 3 days, and then they expect you to perform differently afterward, that's going away. And that's being replaced with hyper individualization to the employee level based on what they need. And sometimes what they need isn't job training. Sometimes it's help with wellness, or sometimes it's help with their relationships, or just becoming a better leader, or understanding the people around them. And much of that individualization will rest on coaching, because there's only so much you can individualize e-learning and other content-based learning, but coaching is always hyper individualized. So I think that trend really bodes well for coaching.
Thank you. And what coaches should do to prepare themselves for that?
Well, the biggest failure that I see in what most coaches are trying to do is they're trying to be everyone to everyone, because they see the market as relatively small today. And so they fear missing out on coaching opportunities by specializing. But if you put yourself in the shoes of a potential client, they're kind of like a patient, right? They know they've got an ailment, they go to the doctor, but they want to see a specialist for whatever it is that they need. They want to know that you've helped people with their specific circumstances and had great impact. And so from a client's perspective, they want you to be specialized in their industry, in their type of role, in their stage in their career, and with their specific types of goals. So as coaches, to prepare for this tidal wave of demand, really focus on specialization and understanding what is it that makes your clients tick. What are they worried about? What are they thinking about? What are their priorities? What are the deep emotional triggers that they have? Because if your message doesn't resonate with that audience in such a way that they feel like you're reading my mind, right? You totally get me, then they're going to feel like you're not for them, you're for someone else. And so that, I think, is the best thing that coaches can do, is really, really own a particular audience and really, really understand that audience. And if you do that, you will have unlimited demand from clients who have those same thoughts and fears and needs.
And have you observed a trend on the platform, or like a specific area of demand that clients look for?
Well, I would say that the largest sector of demand is still probably career coaching. As you can expect, there's really acute and really large pain for people who are in career transition and need help. They see every month they go without an income means, real money they've lost. And if a coach can help them get there faster, get a bigger bigger job with better pay, they're willing to invest. So from an individual standpoint, career coaching is the biggest sector. But in enterprise, what's really significant is the shift from executive top 3 level coaching, where it's moving down the organization to emerging leaders. And this is something that we really haven't seen in decades past, but is becoming very mainstream for organizations to invest in first-time supervisors, entry-level people, high potentials, emerging leaders in the organization. And for those types of needs, they need a platform like Soar to find those coaches, because it's too costly and time consuming to go find individual coaches for 1,000 managers in a big company, right? Whereas it's manageable if you've got a few dozen executives you're trying to get coaching for. It's not manageable down to 1,000 people unless you've got a platform to work with. So that's a big shift.
Absolutely, but actually the platform doesn't take care of it. You have to have trained coaches to face the demand on that platform.
Totally. Which is why a client has to rely on a platform to find that many trained coaches, right? So they can't go to individually to coaches' websites to go find 200 coaches. It's just too cumbersome. So they're going to go to platforms like Soar and others to find those 200 coaches all in one place.
Absolutely. And at the moment, because you mentioned right management or
right,
or the other company that is connected to right management. My main platform that I use is Thrive Partners. It's a British platform, and they are in a partnership with Right Management. So basically, these big consulting companies, they are looking to adopt a platform that they can light label and they can sing it into their clients.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get hit up every week by those kinds of companies looking to do exactly that. And for the most part, we're not necessarily interested in doing the white label thing, but we're very interested in doing strategic partnerships and API integrations. So for example, Right Management has a career management portal for users. And so what we would love to do is provide our coaches based on matching algorithms to those candidates in the portal and make it all an integrated experience. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to HR Technology today in Vegas.
Cool. The last thing I would say is, if you haven't, everybody who is on the call, if you haven't joined a coaching platform, do it. There are many. You might not get clients, but you will learn a lot, and this is going to be the future. Perhaps you develop your own platform or software application that you will be using for your clients, but you just get used to it and invest sometimes to learn how this type of application softwares and technology products work, and how could you benefit from. Anything else that you want to say? Last thought?
I think that's great advice. And whether it's Soar or anything else, you know, the one of the most important things about joining a community is finding your tribe, right? This is a global movement. There are people like you out there, and I know ICF is a great place to kind of find your tribe. But what I've seen as far as synergy and impact from coaches connecting with others in a tribe where they share a common mission is really invaluable. And so I'd encourage you all to find your tribe and connect with each other.
So Greta in the comment box says that lots of coaches don't want to invest in a platform because the pay is low. This is just a comment. And one thing I can say is, if you are sure that you can get more clients on your own, more high paid clients on your own, prefer that. You don't have to join. But if you will get clients and be able to do what you love for less paid, that's option. And in this case here with Soar, you don't even charge or define the prices.
Right.
But I mean, that's all personal choice, and is, again, if you pay for advertisement or if you invest in marketing, so you're still paying to get clients.
I'm interested. It's interesting that Greta asked that question just as I was about to ask a similar one, that there is this big development in the market of platforms which kind of employ the coach, and tend not to pay very well, because they're taking a big cut out of what the client is paying. So my question was, why did Soar not do that? And what business opportunity did you guys see in kind of encouraging the solopreneur side of that's kind of the more traditional approach to coaching?
Well, I think the foundation for why we took a very different approach is because we feel personally invested in the lives and success of coaches, right? We want coaches to thrive because we know a lot of coaches personally. We love them, you know. Our business is not to make money by squeezing coaches. Our business, you know, we plan to make a lot of money selling assessments. We plan to make a lot of money with subscription software that complement coaching, that plug into organizations. And so we want to be the leader in this global movement. And part of that means playing nice with all of your stakeholders. I mean, I hear time and time again, Dave, from people who've joined other platforms, and to your point, they're like, I'm getting really squeezed and my time all of a sudden is really devalued. And that's just not what we want to do.
And I will tell you a secret. If you don't have enough users on the platform, you cannot develop the platform. So you versus like go raise some money and let access for free to whoever can join, even if they're not specializing in coaching, you just get users that they use the platform so you can get insights to develop. That's other side of the trait. So thank you so much, Clint. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. I learned some things, and I hope my guests today also benefit from being on the call for 1 hour. Thank you for the opportunity, ICF Orange County.
Our pleasure as always. And we have coming up on the 15th of October, we have a webinar on the topic of Marshall Goldsmith, stakeholder-centered leadership coaching. So that's on the 15th at 11 a.m. And
Clinton, then do you want to say something? Clinton was saying something. I think
it sounds great.
Okay.
That sounds great.
And interestingly, since we started off with something that was strengths-based, it's an interesting coincidence that our next face-to-face meeting in Irvine on, I believe, November the 21st, and this isn't on our website yet, will be a look at the Gallup Strengths model and its application to coaching. And of course, you know, the main focus of that event is, as Clint was saying, the really important thing of coaches getting together, finding our people, finding our tribe, hanging out by the wine cooler, if not the water cooler, and dealing with that fact that, yeah, it's kind of lonely at the Zoom face sometimes.
And I'm curious if some of the community that you have, Clint, in your Orange County would be interested to contribute content or come to our meetings, or just extend invitations to what you're already having going on. That would be interesting to explore.
Absolutely. Yeah. Send me the details.
Yes, so really grateful, Clint, if you could pass those details along, especially about our face-to-face meetings.
Yeah. Send me the details. I'll share them.
Will do indeed. Yep. Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Clint. Thank you, Vanya. And I think this is our last Tech Talk of the year, is it not?
It's not. There is one in December. I think it's going to be the last one.
Oh, I thought it was quarterly. But...
Every two months.
Okay, right. Oh,
November,
we'll
November, December.
Okay,
or if I count, I have a guest, so
yeah,
I have a guest already set up. Say yes,
so we'll look forward to that.
Okay.
Thank you so much, and see everyone soon, either on Zoom or face to face.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.